he play a part? As we start the second half, the opening bounce, Kennedy in full stride kicks inside the forward 50. Yaron goes back. After it goes McGuinness. That's a big assignment for McGuinness against Goods. Goods tackles him and tackles him down. They'll have a ball up in the pocket.
Swans by 9 points at quarter time. 21 at half time. We get rolling along in the third, and Cruiser and Mumford continue to battle against each other. Goods just over the top, called to play on. Pike, little one back to Goods, paddles it up to Hanbury, missed by Hanbury, taken on quickly by Jack. He fires, bounces once and skips over.
John Longmire talked about no tackles inside their attacking 50 in that first half. Already they've had one in the early stages of this third quarter. This is where Jack's dangerous.
Knocked down by Cruiser into the belly of Jack. He's taken to ground, and well, Bell's got a big assignment this afternoon. Free kick the Swans.
He's set for the fend off. So McLean had the ball, and McLean, he's pretty tiny, McLean, he can just about walk under a coffee table. So it wouldn't be hard to fend him off. Perhaps a little bit over the shoulder.
Stands at just 174, trying to add to the 21-point lead, and does with a major. Swans get the first of the second half.
So that's a good start for them. Tough hombre. Not the biggest, but certainly doesn't concede anything in those packs.
Here's the fend off from Tui, sorry. Yeah. So you'd like to see somebody in that instance given the benefit of the doubt, though, wouldn't you? I called it on McLean. It was actually Tui there, and I'm not sure that that's what a free kick should be paid for.
Eyes up, guys, straight up.
Not your teeth.
Well, not when you got control of the ball like he had, though.
No. Interesting too, that tackle. There was a strong tackle in that exchange, and the umpires with the slow whistle really do mitigate for that tackle, that sling tackle, because players get a little frustrated. They're holding on, and sometimes feel compelled to toss the player down. Be a bit careful with that as this ball comes out of bounds on the full, I reckon. No, he's paying the mark, the umpire, who was only 10 metres away. He's virtually, you can see him there in the pocket of the man with the football who was paid the mark, Mumford. He goes down the line and finds Goods. So Sydney doing what they did in the first term and the second, getting the early goal. Here's O'Keefe.
This is so reminiscent of the first quarter, isn't it? The way they played and controlled the footy.
Made his debut against the Western Bulldogs of the SCG a long time ago, back in 2000. He sends it down towards full forward. Off hands and across the line. Let's go down to Kirky.
Yeah, that's what Ryan O'Keefe brings to the team. If he's not only in the midfield, he can push forward, and he's a very good half-forward player, as he has been over his whole career.
Play on.
Short ball to Scotland. They're perennially undersold, aren't they, the Swans, Tim?
Yep. Yep, they are. And they should be right up there as premiership favourite alongside Hawthorn and Collingwood at the moment.
Well, they've beaten the Hawks, yet to play the Pies. That happens next weekend. Bird sees a free man. Well, beautifully weighted kick to Hanbury.
Well, the first mistake there from Carlton in a defensive sense was not to have anybody playing on Bird. I mean, that was the first free player at half forward. Now, it's just remarkable that somebody could find that space, and then he had the space to kick the ball to Hanbury, who was so good in the first quarter and a half.
There seems to be so many of these types, the Hanburys and Birds and Jacks. They keep running through. O'Keefe, McVeigh, they have been sensational so far this year. They need to be good in September. Hanbury is good right now. So the margin now 34 points, and after the Blues were good late in the second term, the Swans start the third in fine style. So 10 goals have been scored so far by this Swans outfit that score readily nowadays.
Yep, and look, sometimes you can lose your game in the long break at half time. I mean, they were so good, they were so honest, they were so aggressive, and they're working so hard before half-time, but they just haven't come out in the same state of mind.
And this equals the biggest lead in the game now. So for all that fight back in the second term, on the scoreboard it stands for naught. Sydney getting the opening 2 goals of the third term. Back in the middle, Cruiser up early. Mumford did brilliantly. Got it down to Kennedy again. Likes that side to receive the ball on Kennedy, but the kick is marked by White. Chips it back towards centre half back. Gibbs across the ground, broadening things. Taken by Curnow. Looking down towards half forward. The lead comes from Murphy. Go to the quality players. Murphy's got it at the interchange gates. White offers a lead. The kick goes in that direction, but sensing the danger and getting across. Johnson did the hard work, got to the right spot, spilt the mark.
And read it so well too, didn't he? He knew the ball was going down the line. It was Garlett or Betts was trying to drag him away, but he wasn't having a bar of that.
No, the ruckman touched the footy, took an awkward bounce. Curnow crashes the pack in the opposite direction. O'Keefe did well, taken by Bolton. I think he kicked a leg there. He managed to move the ball about 5 metres. Over the football is Cruiser. Taking a tumble was Jeddah. Trying to work it forward is Wade. Johnson stood his ground, gets it across towards Hanbury, back to Cruiser. Charged down there by Mumford. In the opposite direction is White. McVeigh goes after it. The umpire lets them play. Bell emerges with the football, got it from Scotland, misses everything.
Jude Bolton comes to the bench. I actually heard the whack from here. It was a big smack of his ankle.
So they can be nasty ones too, Kirky.
Lewis, Roberts, Thompson, Hanbury now. Little give. Johnson, what a find he's been for the Swans. Quickly on they go to McGlynn. Cruising through Jack. He's got Murphy to beat. Just gets around onto the left. We've got a problem at half forward. Pikes just clutching at something. We'll go back to him in a moment. Meanwhile, Scotland sweeps the handball to Armfield. Man on over the top. McGuinness will take, receive and send it inside to Collins. Got a bit of space. Got Gibbs as an option. Shorter still to Betts. Wasn't perfect, but he got it back again. Collins steps inside Smith. Runs to about 60. Long ball. Simpson, tough ask. Bouncing ball. Just the one minor score.
And Collins is one of those players we talked about as we see Jude Bolton just trying. This is the incident. Just kicks his foot straight into the foot there of Cruiser. And that just bends back your toes. I mean, they can be nasty ones sometimes. It looks like he's going to be okay. But Collins is one of those players at half-time talked about that hadn't had enough of the ball in the first half. He needs to get busy because he has got the capacity to run through the lines.
Grundy's got the football in. He's at left half back. It's an interesting question you raised about Mike Pike. No idea what happened to him, but he didn't take part in the action. Garlett gets the crumb on the wing, floats it back towards half forward. Last man standing is Shaw, did nicely. He was fourth in the queue. He found the footy. O'Keefe's over it now. Head down, spills out wide. Matner, well played. Carrazzo got lower.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, well, he's got to try. Always very lucky because putting the hands up, players are not going as quickly with this as you would like. Not understanding. They've got to make an attempt. If the ball's even in their vicinity.
And to paraphrase, a genuine attempt.
A genuine attempt.
On 297 games too, Jude Bolton. So you'd be hoping that he gets back out there in the action quickly.
Maybe described that way, but it's not too genuine. There's a chance for Parker as he goes down towards half forward. Wonderful courage there, going back with the flight of it. McGuinness, we like him. He's an up-and-comer. Made his debut on Friday Night Football a few weeks back.
What's Jude on, Tim, at the moment?
297.
No, it's interesting. He's got Collingwood 298, Western Bulldogs 299, and then if he remains fit, Hawthorn at the SCG.
Well, that's the one you wanted to play your 300th game out.
Let's assume he doesn't miss with the ankles. He sort of does a little bit of stretching work. It looks okay.
Yeah, no, it looks like he's going to come back on. I reckon they may have taped it. You just see him there on the sidelines now, just limbering up again. That's a good sign.
It'll take a fair bit to keep him out.
So Swans by 33. Pike, who looked injured moments ago, just sees the ball knocked forward. In the end, McGuinness over the top. Curnow bounces back inside. McVeigh, the quick look away. Good. Simpson just corrals. McGuinness goes and wins the ball. Tui slides over, slips over, ball goes over. What do we got? Free kick. Was it out on the full, off a leg?
Come right level with the line, mate.
So.
Right,
Yeah.
right level with the line here.
Looks like it may have come
Thanks,
off
Ben.
Zach
Right on
Tui's
now.
foot here. Yep.
I'll call you. You level with me, I'll call you.
Get a stat for that, but you get a free kick against you.
So McGlynn shorts it.
All clear.
Not even close.
Oh, it was a bit skinny, wasn't it?
Yeah, plus these days are getting very adept at doing that, aren't they? That kick, but not Benny McGlynn there. Tui, he's feeling the talk. Not quite with that one, though, but the mark was taken by Betts last time. It was marked by Melcheski. Betts got on the end of a much shorter torp as he sends it out towards the wing. Collins has got the run of it. Coming across on the angle is Bolton. And Bolton did well. He seems to be okay. He was moving nicely there. Boundary throw in. 68 plays 34. Bobby Skilton talking about those Swans that got to 250. He was 237 from memory. But what a player. 3 Brownlows. A legend of the game. Gibbs to Murphy. Murphy kicks inside the forward 50. And the mark is taken by White.
That's a good pair of hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was great movement then too from that stoppage. Good to see Murphy getting involved again.
So White has kicked a couple. This will take his best. He'll kick from right on the 50. Kick is on the way. That's close to his best. Not quite. Just tapering away to the right. And misses by less than a metre.
A couple of things too. Gibbs has been pushed up onto the ball now, and Aaron Joseph looks to be running with Hanbury. So we know that he has the concentration, Joseph, to be able to perform those roles.
Shaw, almost his signature dish, a little one to himself, and then quickly to the boundary line. Goods, Joseph, O'Keefe, boundary line wins. The Beards are back, aren't they? I mean, you saw Adam Goods there, and I think Shaw's got some sort of an operation going on. A few around the place. Melcheski sports one. Pike knocks it down. Carazzo cruises through. Armfield just hacks it inside 50. Bouncing ball now. Cruiser couldn't. Teddy Richards just quickly kicked it away. Comes to a pack. They've got to be good here, the Swans. They normally are. They put it into the hands of a man with speed and confidence. Little one to himself. He just continues to cruise on. Here's some X factor now. Go and kick a goal. Jetta continues. Over the top he goes. Can he get it back? No. He's put the cue in the rack, and Hanbury lets everyone down. Well, not quite.
In.
Little party trick to McGlynn over the top. Mumford, Simpson should have the pace. Now the Blues will rebound. Not sure whether it was a set play, the bouncing back ball, but worked out okay momentarily. Garlett ends up with it on the outer side.
That was a terrific run. And give White his due. He stuck, didn't he? He didn't lose any ground, I don't think.
It's Carlton's free kick. It's further than 50 away.
Heard the explanation.
Walk like that.
Further than 50 away, so
It's got him in the head, so it has to be a free.
umpire Stevic making the point. This is Carazzo. Haven't called his name too often this afternoon. Came back with a flurry late in the second quarter, but hasn't seen much of it in this term. Here's Scotland indicating he wants to go long, just setting it up. It's a deep ball. Casbolt can't get to it over the top. Big fist away by Pike, taken by McLean deep in the pocket. And he hit the post. Rock McLean. Had a tricky week.
Just going back on that halftime news, Tim, we believe Matty Primus has been told he's not required at Port next year. They'd like him to continue to coach, and if he doesn't, the former Crows Sean Wren steps in for the rest of the year.
Adam Goods has got the footy. Well,
the talk yesterday was that he may have got a contract extension, but that was before the loss to GWS. So I don't think it's going to really surprise anyone in the footy world that his contract's not going to be renewed.
here's Jetta. That was a killer yesterday, wasn't it? As the kick goes down towards the attacking 50, and the mark is taken by McGuinness.
He'll feel better when it's all over that then.
Yeah, nice man. Footy's a cruel game.
You should carry a health warning, coach. Like a pack of cigarettes.
Goes out to McLean.
How many fewer years do you reckon you've got in you as a result?
How many puffs did you take? Or did you inhale?
Too many.
That'll get you.
Every time.
Jamison is back. To this day, I'm not sure if I was sacked or it was just one of those things I made my own decision. That was the perfect sacking, I think, at West Perth. Well, if it was a sacking, as the ball comes out wide to Betts. When you don't know.
Did they have a farewell party for you?
Well, no. They were all mates, though, and as a result, it was done nicely. Short one, if in fact it was done. And the mark is taken by Garlett. Garlett about 45 metres out.
That's the kick, isn't it? I mean, he loves to run, Yaron, and he got it right at the end of this play. That's the one. He just dropped it in low there for Garlett, and they really need to kick this because they've actually, in general play, they've worked their way back in after that first couple of minutes where they just looked a little bit out of sorts.
That's terrible. Richards takes the mark. So often they go to that pocket simply because they don't want to put the hands on the football of the opposition if they kick it behind off hands or kick it through from that sort of range. Yaron does nicely, goes to Bell. Bell goes back towards Garlett. Garlett in full stride, connects on his shin and bounces it out of bounds in the pocket. So again, we're seeing this revival of sorts. We saw it late in the second term where Carlton realize the gravity of the situation and have to dig deep.
So Casbolt, sort of a part of that big win last week without really meaning to be. Gets wrapped up by a man playing 250. Malcheski watches on. And we saw it earlier, Tim. The Blues get their way back into it, and then the Swans just hammer away.
They've scored a lot easier, City, than Carlton has managed to. That's a great tap.
To McLean, smothered kick. Now what can the Swans do here? Johnson chases, ball sits up. Hanbury's an option, draws the player, quick kick, no one there. It'll be out of bounds on the full, which probably suits the Swans on the basis that Joseph was going to get there and set up pretty quickly. The Swans drop back.
The numbers are already there, so they've already set themselves up in good defensive positions here, Sydney.
McLean, Carazzo, back to McLean. Heap of Swans, hands on again. Well done, Smith to Shaw. Back to Smith again, and then to where it just came from. Bouncing ball, Joseph, where he got cleaned up by Zeeble not so long ago. Bird, well done. Stops, goes backwards to Bolton, and now to Goods. Why wouldn't you? He's got a couple of Blues to beat. McGuinness, he does well.
Gee, they were out then to O'Keefe had actually run into space in the forward line. There was no one within 30 metres of him had they been able to maintain possession there, Sydney.
Margin 32 points knocked down by Mumford, taken by Hanbury, goes to Malcheski. Malcheski fires one inside the forward 50. Goods and Jamison. Jamison with the pace comes away. Not his best kick. It wanders down towards right half forward. Grundy. Ample time to come across, cut it off, settle, and look for a target. Well, last part of the equation wasn't too flash. You may have seen him, but he didn't find him, and now the ball goes out of bounds. Jamison kept coming. Well done.
That's a great follow-up, Dennis. The first part was terrible. To kick the ball away like he did, no composure or poise whatsoever. He's actually sucking in some deep breaths after that big run and that second effort.
He's off the ground momentarily. Carazzo. Murphy, the look-away hand pass, needed more attention. O'Keefe at close quarters gave it to McVeigh. McVeigh's hand pass, charge down. Opportunity close to the boundary for Matner. And Matner has put it across the line on the full.
The pressure has been really good from Carlton, but what they need to do, they've got to actually put something on the scoreboard for that. In general play, they're on top again now, but they just haven't been able to score, create any scoring opportunities.
18 minutes into the third term, haven't been able to press.
What happened there?
Well, the boundary umpire was just, I don't know, it was muscle memory. I think he played footy as a kid and he wanted to fly for it. I'm not sure.
We found Mollison yet?
No, gone.
What happened?
No news.
Back in it comes. Cruiser to Kerno. Here's a chance for Murphy. Back to Armfield. Now high up and under. McLean sees it go over his head and all too easy for Grundy.
Let's just give him a free crack at it, though, isn't it?
Yep.
To the outer side, Bolton, one of the two, Bird the other. Hanbury, a big tackle on Joseph. It spills. O'Keefe tackled. Hanbury ends up with it. Little wonder Malcheski works it through. Well done to Bolton. Wider now. Jack, little wonder Bird. He can go. He's got Lewis, Roberts, Thompson and Mumford further afield. Simpson won't allow him to go there quite yet. Malcheski, he thought McGlynn was going at it. Yaron, bit of support for Gibbs. Gibbs off. Now to Scotland. Scotland on the left. To half forward, Collins, Johnson. Well done, Johnson.
The intensity's gone up in this game. The Blues are getting their hands in the footy, but they just can't penetrate that Swans defence at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good call, Kirky. In general play, they're going really well. They're making it hard for Sydney to escape from these stoppages, but they're just not being able to handle the ball cleanly and clearly enough themselves to create anything.
McLean out of the congestion, bounces down toward Betts. Betts rarely sighted, gives a hand pass back to McLean, in trouble. McLean tries to go again to Betts. Nothing doing this time. Betts after the football, though, it almost came his way. Head down, ball behind him now. McVeigh was tackled, knocked out of there by Hanbury. Little 1-2 with Melcheski. Kept coming, did Murphy, applied a tackle. Hanbury got it back, though, and the ball goes towards the outer side. They relieve the pressure momentarily, Sydney, but it's coming back through White. White looks down towards the 50. High ball in front. Pike off his hands. Hanbury got the crumb. Richards in trouble. Well done, Betts. Collins a half chance. Gets a hand pass along the line, taken by White. Clever kick by White. McLean was the target. Couldn't reel it in. Gathered by Bolton. Bolton hurt himself again as the kick comes up towards the wing. Leading back is Curnow. Dragged down. Perhaps he didn't have the football. As Yaron got it now, not sure. Gets away from Bird. Steps a would-be tackler. Oh, brilliant stuff. Centres it to Gibbs. Gibbs goes inside the forward 50. The limping Bolton can do nothing. It runs away and goes out of bounds.
This is some real trouble here, Jude Bolton. Just actually, ooh.
That's the other foot.
Yeah. Just, that looks like a break.
Oh,
Most blokes should probably come off on a stretcher, but Jude Bolton's going to run off with a broken leg.
Well, on an otherwise bright afternoon for the Swans, bleak news as Jude Bolton heads towards Kirky, and this is real disappointment. It's on the drop here.
That's
is it
a knee.
hyperextension of the knee, goes back. I know nothing really about knees, but it doesn't look good. Really disappointing news for Jude Bolton as he approaches 300 and the Swans having some sort of a season. Let's hope it's only minor as Kennedy gets taken over. I mean, that's in a career that has been magnificent. It's a very ordinary time to have that happen.
Fingers crossed.
Jamison looks like he might have done his hamstring just then.
Wow. Going down, Simpson from half forward sends it inside the forward 50 off hands. Garland a chance at the crumb. Ricochets off his body and goes out. So Jamison now to the interchange gates. No doubting that was a free. So boundary throw in, dangerous spot.
He's in trouble on his right hamstring.
Pike knocked it down. O'Keefe couldn't find a way through. Goes to Jack. Jack out of defence then. Taylor made for Curnow. He'll send it back inside. Didn't really look, just sets it up. McLean was there, fingertips to it. Waite had it bounce past him. Richards did well. Murphy in the opposite direction. He did better. Comes to Carazzo. Armfield going back. Oh, courage from two players. Wonderful courage. I'm not sure Hanbury did much wrong, but it's going against him, and now players remonstrating with Hanbury.
Let it go. Let it go. Dennis, you're right. Take your kick. Yeah, free kicks, pup. High contact for the free kick. Come down. Yeah, where you are.
Well, it was wonderful from both players.
The line is on the mark.
There's a free kick there, but it certainly wasn't intentional. Hanbury was trying to take a chest mark.
Yep. He's entitled to go for the ball. I mean, that's incidental contact in the marking duel, and that's a free kick as well.
Just such commendable courage from two players. One from either side. And the winner in that exchange is Armfield and Carlton. He puts it through for a goal. Margin back to 26.
Well, they deserved that, Hammer. This quarter, 65% ball in their half, Carlton. So they've had it down there. They just haven't been able to create those opportunities. And, I mean, they've got to set it up like Garlett and Betts at ground level with those high balls going into their forward line with such regularity. They've just got to be able to get their hands on one or two of those and turn them into goals.
To your point, up until that goal, it was 2 goals, 2 for the term to just 3 behinds. The Blues deserved something.
When Dennis talked about the commendable courage, and he had his eyes on the ball there, no question about that. Hanbury coming in from the opposite direction. I don't think he's going to be worried about any match review panel situation there.
Did you think Zeeble would be?
Yeah, it looks like they might activate the sub. Jude was just walking along the boundary, looked okay, and then just as he went to turn, looked like something might have given way on his knee.
Zeeble-esque, wasn't it? Zeeble, courageous, spends a month on the sidelines. We wait with interest. Murphy set upon by Swans. Somehow it's pushed out by Garlett. Here's a chance for Collins. Fends off, gets it inside. Bell, can he kick a goal for the Blues? Smith, the tackle was fabulous.
Wonderful.
Look, he's a young player, Bell, but I mean the error then is actually bouncing the ball in the first couple of steps. You just see the ice being applied now to that knee. He's not going to take any further part in this game, Jude Bolton. And you see Dennis Lane there in the foreground, number 8, just warming up, getting ready to come on.
Jude has been so durable. He's only missed 4 games since the start of 2003. So there he is.
Ridiculous, that stat, considering how he plays, Den.
Yeah, on the eve of the finals too. It's bad news. As I said, fingers crossed as the ball goes around that outer side. Almost the clever mark at the back by White. Immediately went on and applied a tackle. Spills wide, taken by Hanbury. Hanbury fires it down towards half forward, and going back with the flight of it is Murphy.
There's an arm wrestle going on at the moment, and Carlton's really holding their own here.
Gibbs, awkward kick. Armfield has to work now. Tackled from behind by O'Keefe, or is it Jack? Jack's got him. And the umpire, taking an eternity, decides he couldn't get it out.
Tim, that tackle from Nick Smith on Bell sort of typifies the Swans, doesn't it? You think you've got time, you think you're away, and someone just mauls you.
Yeah, no, it was a great lunging tackle.
We see Armfield there. Kicked a goal earlier. Continues to sport that moustache, which...
There's Bell again. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of touches, but he's had some important fingernails on the ball at different stages. He's going to be a player.
McGlynn around the corner. McVeigh, Goods off Goods' knees. Ricochets back. Lewis Roberts-Thompson hits his man. Now a chance. Long ball. How is the carries? It's shepherded through. The Swans are kicking him from everywhere. This time it's Jack. To Kirky's point, for all the effort and all the momentum, it amounts to 1-3. The Swans have got 3 goals too, and that against the flow, and suddenly we're back out to 32 points. The Smith tackle stops the Bell goal, would have brought it back to 20 points. 2-goal turnaround, 32 points the margin.
He's had a busy afternoon too, Kieran Jack. He's up to 21 disposals. 13 of those have been contested, and he's had 6 clearances too, so he's had an afternoon. Just watching Kieran Jack just position himself beautifully just outside 50, so he's got a big leg on him, Kieran Jack, and we've already mentioned earlier in the afternoon about what a damaging player he's been this season forward of the centre.
Sydney's first goal in 22 minutes. It's a real battle of attrition in this term. Bell's over the football. Tim likes him. He's taken down. After it goes, Smith took a while. Betts was right there in the opposite direction. Grundy going to the ground. Betts comes again. He's going to get a free kick, Betts. Advantage is paid. Carazzo now. They'll stop it. Umpire Leopard, dare we say it, doesn't change his decisions. That was a situation there where he called play on initially. Well, didn't call anything and then decided to whistle it up. That's just giving it away, though. The mark is taken by Johnson down in the back pocket, so maybe they would have been better. They were 2-on-1, but that's not the umpire's problem. Johnson out of defence, sends it up towards the wing. Goods was up. Roberts-Thompson looking for the crumb at the back, and it goes out of bounds.
That bit of play there by Johnson was almost identical to the other side of the ground when Garlett kicked the ball to Waite in the pocket as well. See Collins.
Carlton with a lot of injuries. They've been so gallant in recent weeks. And now Mumford's getting a free kick.
The sub's been activated. Davies coming on for Jamison.
Davies, generally a defender. Not a lot of flamboyance about his game. Ball goes out of bounds. They need some flamboyance about now. Clock stops at 1:29. They need a runner. They need something to happen in the midfield, perhaps.
Had a history too, Jamison, of soft tissue injuries over the years. That's a real blow for Carlton. Already they've got an extended injury list.
Kennedy's kick right to the 50. Scotland stood up in a tackle, gave it to Gibbs under pressure. Gibbs kicks it back towards the wing, simply too tall. Smith marks over Betts. So Betts really hasn't had an impact on this afternoon's game. Just the 9 possessions now. This is Smith.
A long ball inside 50. LRT just misread it. Gibbs did well. Quickly they move the ball to Scotland, back to Gibbs. Hard up against the boundary line. Bell, it settles for him. Now to McGuinness. Over the top they go to Simpson. Unmistakable in that helmet. 3 weeks on the sideline. Little one to wait. Game 150. Debuted against the Swans. Lost. Played 100 against the Swans. Lost. Needs to change something quickly. If that is going to change this afternoon. Casbolt. Outer side, quickly, high up and under. Yours, catch that. Betts, over the top. Cruiser 2, out the back. Garlett with pace. Can he take it cleanly? Well, not in the end. And, well, it's mopped up.
Don't
look like a certainty.
No. That's where I hate that rule. I mean, the blokes, look, this is it. Like, okay, he's trying to win the ball there on the ground. I mean, you're entitled to do that. That's what our game's all about. You've got 3 blokes to jump on top of you. 2 of those are Sydney Swans. Their only thought is to lock the ball in.
With 4 players on top of you, at what time did you have prior? Is it the millisecond before they jump on top of you, or the umpire see underneath what's going on?
Well, it's 3/4 time.
Yep, I think there'd be many discussions that are yet to be had and may have been had already at Carlton about where their season's gone wrong, but you really do have to consider in all that the fact that they've had so many injuries to so many players that have been pivotal to their success.
They've been admirable in the last few weeks.
I think so. And even this afternoon.
Yeah. They won't go away this afternoon thinking, unless something dramatic happens in the last quarter, they didn't give it their best shot, because late in the second quarter, again, in that term, from about the third of the way through the third quarter, they really had a crack, but they're not putting goals on the board.
He could not fault their effort at the end of this game.
And neither could Steve, but who knows? A debate for another day. Start of the final term then. 74 plays 42. Carlton in all sorts of trouble. Gibbs swings it towards the outer side. Tracking it back is Jenner. Coming across on the angle is Tui. Tui did well, wanted it more. And the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. There's the dot.
Probably could have got him at a better moment, couldn't we?
Oh, well.
It's a big cigar.
It's not permanent, is it?
Making me feel hungry. We'll have a ball up on the outer side. That was a sausage roll, wasn't it?
Well, I thought it was a Cuban cigar.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is he?
No, that was one of those unfortunate moments in television. Knocked down by Gibbs. And Carazzo gets a free kick.
There's that old saying, don't work with children, animals, and sausage rolls. He was stiff then, wasn't he?
Mr. President. There goes the kick, long from Carazzo inside the forward 50. Up goes Cruiser, off hands, and falls to Grundy. It's going to be a free kick to the Blues.
Oh, the fend off again.
The fend off against Grundy to White. So this is a big kick, not only in the context of this afternoon, Tim, but perhaps the overall.
Yep, and this is the fend off. Grundy's got the ball and he's pushed.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, they've been consistent.
Well,
with that, haven't they?
You're right. They've been consistent.
So, Jared White. That's a beautiful kick. He puts it through. He's got 3. His return has been successful. And they edge closer.
Well, if there is anything to be taken out of this from a Blues perspective, the Swans have on a couple of occasions had tardy fourth terms. I think at Essendon here at the Dome, and then the Cats up in Sydney stormed home over them.
Yep.
Another one now, Tim. There'd be just a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, they're going to have to string some goals together for the first time. They haven't been able to kick multiple goals all afternoon, the Blues.
So Brett Ratney watches on, and he hopes that 1 becomes 2 and 3 and 4. 26 points the margin right now. Can they win the clearance? Not quite. Hanbury, little one to Jack onto the right boot. He might just chase after this. Well done. Pushes it forward again. Collins, though, importantly, hands on it for the Blues. Now to Carazzo. Little one over the top to Tui. He retreats. 2 Swans. They attack him in numbers, and he gets pinged. Dennis Lane, the fresh man on the ground for the Swans, quickly squares it up over the top. The tall man in Mumford over the tall man in Cruiser.
And that's how quickly he can turn around. Well, unfortunately, Tua didn't turn around quickly enough here and got himself in a spot of bother, and then everybody's moved up. There's space opens in other parts of the ground, and Sydney moved the ball quickly, and Mumford comes down. He's very good shot for goal too, this bloke from a set shot.
Hasn't played in a losing side yet for the Swans this year. Doesn't look like that will change. The kick is on its way, and the kick is a goal to the Bloods. So as quickly, Den, as they got it inside 30, it pops out again.
They're meeting every challenge, aren't they? They're just a bit too good, you think. We've talked about the absentees for Carlton. They're not there, and of course those in their stead are lesser lights. They're trying hard, but it doesn't look like the breakthrough is imminent.
Shane Mumford is so important for the Swans if they tend to push more into the finals, and he plays his 50th game today.
Been a good battle, Mumford. Cruiser this afternoon. I think Mumford's probably just shaded Cruiser.
Cruiser wins this one straight into the face of Kennedy. Not 15 the call as it was hacked out of the air Carlton's way. Shaw gave it to Melcheski, goes looking for Goods, missed it. Coming through strongly and doing well, McGuinness goes towards the outer side. Bell has one bounce, runs towards the 50, sends it long down towards full forward, getting back. It's knocked across the line, just short, a couple of metres short, but life often mirrors up. Since we saw Dr. Edelstein, we've had a couple of sausage rolls, and now we're behind, forced.
Now play on.
Tim, Shane Mumford, game 50, as Kirky said, for the Swans this afternoon. 20 for the Cats. Wouldn't he be handy down at Kardinia Park these days?
He'd be handy anywhere, Hammer.
He's a good player, isn't he?
He's a very good player. Just talking to Kirky about him before the game, actually. There's Teddy just going in after his own ball. About how he plays in all areas of the game in terms of a ruckman, and he's quite happy to give the blokes at ground level a real chop out.
Armfield sends it in, ugly sort of a ball for Casbolt. Goes across in front of him, and Richards again just finds some space. What does the umpire say here? Deliberate. Okay, Eddie Betts, can he find a blue jumper? Top of the square, tough one. Waite, Simpson, Johnson front spot, Melcheski. This is where they're good, the Swans. A chain of handballs, ends up with McVeigh quickly to the outer side. Goods underneath it. Curnow has to wait. Goods just slapped it down to Jetta, off hands it came. And now a chance to Bird. What a beautiful kick. Dennis Lane, he's on his bike. Collins chases him in the middle, free man. McGlynn is he. Over the top quickly to Hanbury. Parker, he misses Parker. Carazzo tries to tackle Parker. Holds his ground, back inside. McGlynn, can he finish it off? Oh, the Swans are having a year. So too is McGlynn. And now they skip away again to 37.
Very compact as McGlynn. Once he got that ball, he didn't look like missing, did he? He's very confident. The hand pass a bit chonky, but made amends. And the run just too much to contain as far as the Blues are concerned.
It's the depth of it, Dennis, isn't it? You look across the field and they've got so many options. I mean, Hanbury gets shut down for a while and somebody else bobs up, and Bolton's off the ground now. It was just a case of numbers here. They just streamed into their forward half once they got control of the ball, Sydney, and it was just a manage. They just had to put the finishing touches to it.
Well put. 37. McVeigh sends it down towards half forward. Opportunity for Davies, the sub. Left it behind. Mike Pike got it. Hanbury. McGlynn changed his mind mid-kick. Hanbury goes back. Matner drives it long. Overshoots any would-be target down there. Out of bounds on the full.
The clearance king, Josh Kennedy's up to 10 clearances. He relishes the inside contest.
Yeah, they've smashed them there too. 35-24 around the ball.
By his lofty standards, though, down on possessions. There's still a while to go. I think he's averaging 27 this season. He's on 21, and that clearing kick goes out of bounds on the full. So it doesn't clear much. White just miscuing. Grundy to send it back inside the 50 for the Swans. What a good defender he's become. Heath Grundy sends a high ball. They compete about 20 metres out. Gibbs, or rather Goods, almost the mark. Offhands a chance there for Tui. He tries to get it out of there. Very congested, as you can see. It'll take a good man to get it out. And the umpire, I think, will be forced to ball it up. He does.
Adam Goods almost completes the transaction. Not quite. Seen it a lot over the journey, haven't we? He's just a very, very good player. Obvious statement, but a CV that reads like very few others. Murphy, McLean, Collins, Dennis Lane puts a bit of pressure on. He's going to go again at it. Collins, so too Dennis Lane holds it up. The umpire will bounce. I mean, this Swans outfit. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Well, I reckon if you're forward and you're in that situation, chances are a betting man would say you're going to lose most times. Doesn't matter what you do.
So Collins in the Casbolt direction. I mean, Tim, you like your horse racing. If you're doing form, the Swans' form is very, very good. I mean, they've beaten the Hawks, as we said, in Tassie, Geelong at the SCG, West Coast by 52 over in Perth, North Melbourne, Essendon. They're the wins they've had against the top 8 sides. They lost to the Crows in a belter, and they play Collingwood next week. Whichever way you do the form, they're legitimate, aren't they?
Yep, no, there's no question about that. And I've got one question mark against them and one question mark only.
What's that?
That would be their key forwards, whether or not they're going to be able to stand up in the last month of footy. I mean, we know Goods, they've got a young kid by the name of Sam Reid who's out injured at the moment. They will need him back in the side.
Davies inside 50. Gibbs is going to get the free kick. Go through.
Got an injury concern for the Swans. Mike Pike wobbling off now.
He's wobbling a little earlier. He stayed out there. This, we assume, completely separate. But Bolton in the repair shop. Now Mike Pike, Sam Reid. He was off last week early going in the first term. So perhaps that's the other question mark. Can they keep all of their players fit, Tim? They've only played 30 players throughout the year. Fewer than any other in the league. The Hawks the next with 33. So Gibbs to try and narrow the 37-point margin. The kick is very good. So we're back to 31, but the Swans have had all the answers all afternoon.
He's had a really interesting afternoon, hasn't he, Gibbs? He started the game on Goods as a key defender, and then he got the change in the second quarter, went into the midfield, and I thought he actually gave them some life. You see Mike Pike there just jumping up and down. Might be his ankle, actually. Looks like it's his left ankle. Here's the injury. There's Mike Pike going up. Does he land? I think he landed on the top of Cruz's foot there and just rolled his ankle. So that shouldn't be too serious.
More a basketball injury, that one, isn't it? Step on someone's foot. What a Mike Pike to come down on your foot too. There's a ball up.
Basketball or a dance floor, depending on your style. I've done some injuries in my time.
The confessions of a clumsy man.
Exactly.
31 points the margin. In front, knocked down by Mumford. He's come back in pretty good form this afternoon. Will be improved by the run. And now it's holding the ball against O'Keefe. No sense of occasion. The umpire, Gibbs, has got it. O'Keefe in game number 250, only the 6th Swan ever. Well, that's a terrible kick. Now it comes directly onto Matner's chest.
O'Keefe's had 15, Dennis, for the afternoon. He hasn't been one of the better players on the ground. It's been really interesting that when Carazzo went off him, Bell actually went to him. He's a big-bodied midfielder, Bell, and I reckon he's got a really bright future for the Blues.
Grundy sends it beyond the wing. Oh, what a spectacular mark. What an absolute pearler there by White. Boy from Subiaco just launched himself and took a beauty. They work it back to McLean. 24 possessions for him now. Goes to the back pocket. McGuinness.
O'Keefe's had 10 tackles, so he's working very hard.
Oh, that is a dangerous kick. Carazzo did okay. Made it look okay. Made it look the right decision. Goes short to Armfield.
Quickly, he looks for Simpson, finds him. Jack just closes in. 31-point margin. 12 to play. Carazzo quite early. Beautiful ball to Waite. Game 150. So debut in game 100 and game 150, all against the Swans, and to date, no joy so far. Scotland now, long ball. Cruiser sets himself. Big fly over the top. In the end, Matner got a hand onto it, spilt to Murphy, tries to get around Shaw. McGlynn, little one inside. Kennedy, did he keep it in? He didn't.
Hey, Kirky, how highly would John Longmire rate that performance? The O'Keefe, that's a great mark there by White. That performance by O'Keefe this afternoon with his 10 tackles.
Well, yeah, they rate defence really highly at the Swans. If he's playing a role, taking Carazzo out of the game, that's what they want.
How was that? So slick coming downfield, but nobody to kick to. Comes to Jack. Now, Jack is going to try and bounce this one through, I reckon. No, he gives it to somebody else. Good storms inside the 50. Kicks. He was off balance when he kicked. Going back is Jetta. Comes off his fingertips and played against the post.
The ball hit the post. Yeah, okay, throw it in.
That's the right decision. Hit his hand and then hit the post. So it'll be tossed in. That was very slick through the midfield, but it broke down simply because of the lack of a target. Gibbs trying hard in this final term, has the ball in the back pocket, sends it wide, but in all directions Sydney leading the race. Well, with the exception of one, he started behind, but Joseph too quick for goods there. Gathers the football on the boundary, takes the ball on, slips a hand pass away to Carazzo. Carazzo goes in short, and the mark is taken by White.
Garlett, the only blue inside 50, little one to McLean. Now, Garlett is the only target. That's the way it goes, and it was a terrific kick in the end. Garlett's got Betts leading, short ball now to Murphy. Well, the Blues natives want 50. It won't come. Mike Pike seems to have the boot back on, but still the limp.
Got a big game next week too, Sydney. Collingwood up there in Sydney.
At ANZ. Not a bad record, the Pies at ANZ. That's the other thing. A home final for the Swans means ANZ, which is probably not what they're hoping remains the case for too long. And Mark Murphy's probably hoping he kicks a little more accurately at goal going forward. So the margin remains 31. The Swans have been outstanding all afternoon. They're experienced players in career best form. The youth starting to get a heap of the football. It's going to take a very good side to beat the Swans this year.
That was a very high kick. Joseph knocks it down. Hanbury in position A, grabs it, kicks it to the wing. Yarran did well. That was a good grab, off balance. Comes across the ground to Davies. Scotland breaks one way. He decides to go short. Bad decision as it turned out. Curnow, it was touched off the boot. Davies went to ground a little too readily. Picked up by Bird. Slips it forward. Missed by Jetta. Still Jetta though. Settles now. Snaps. Hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. Now he has. Well, there wasn't enough thought put into the kick. Hit the man on the mark. He was really requiring precision there. Just drop it over the man on the mark to the leading player about 20 metres on, but didn't work out that way, and a goal resulted. Caught them on the counter-attack, and players like Jetta, they can really burn when they can smell a goal in their nostrils.
Plenty of X factor about that man, Lewis Jetta. Tim, they are going to be on top of the table again. I think that makes it 8 weeks this season. Who are, in your view, the big threats to this side?
I think Collingwood and Hawthorn are the other two sides that I'd be really concerned about if I was the Sydney Swans.
So the Blues work it to half forward. Murphy is there to the top of the square. Out the back, Casbolt.
So you discount the result on Friday night, Tim?
I reckon Geelong are going to have to work so hard at this end of the season, and then you've got what is the hardest month of football to go after that. So I mean, if the grand final was played right now, yes, I reckon they'd be in contention, but I reckon it's just going to be too much in the end.
No, good.
They've got West Coast in Patterson's, the Saints, the Dogs, and then Sydney at Skilled. Round 23, Casbolt. It's going to be a long month and a half, isn't it? They've been working a long time, the Cats.
Collingwood's been the nemesis for the Swans for the last 5 years. I'm not sure the Swans have beaten them since 2007.
Grundy comes out of the back pocket, then sends it up towards the wing. Parker works his way in front. White got a fist on it. White took a spectacular mark moments ago. That's holding the ball. Free kick to go to Carlton.
He's been good in his comeback game today too, hasn't he, Simpson?
Yeah. Fearless competitor, goes a long way back. McGuinness, not much on the other side either, but he spots a man coming up the middle. That's Armfield. Armfield sees Bell, thought about it, decides not to go. Now Joseph just forward of the centre circles as they skirt the perimeter, and the clock continues to run, effectively ending Carlton's chances this afternoon. Oh, and what a terrific mark. Casbolt, that's the sign of a promising youngster there. Missed a goal, probably got angry with himself and goes up in a pack and clutches it. Like to see that.
He can take a big strong mark, can't he? He's a big brute of a kid. This is the area that he'll need to improve on, though. He's got a lot to work with, Casbolt, but his kicking's been astray so far in this game, and he just needs to straighten himself up. That'll be great for his confidence as well.
That's a healthy sign, though. Didn't brood about the miss. Went and got the footy again to try and redeem the situation. And he comes. Better get it again. It goes down towards the pocket. Off hands. Oh, goal! A thief in the night. Goes in and gets the goal. How about that?
You talk about pickpockets. That was quick, decisive and deceptive.
Maybe Dennis Fagan's back there coaching, is he?
Got to pick a pocket or two, Timmy.
That's extraordinary the way that goal unfolded, wasn't it?
It was all Swans. So almost the toughest road trip in football for the Swans next week. Collingwood at ANZ, home game, but they've lost the last 10, as Kirky just alluded to the Pies. They haven't beaten Collingwood since 2005. Great test next week, and the matches that follow finish with Geelong at Skilled, and they've got Hawks in between. So we know a lot about the Swans in 4 weeks' time. Out the back, Davies picks it up and sends it, hoping for Yaron. Curnow will do. Malcheski happy just to spoil the Blues' day. So a 30-point lead after that Garlett goal sees the Swans in a comfortable position. A game clear on top of the table. Little concern with Jude Bolton, perhaps also with Pike, who finds himself back out on the ground. Reid, you hope, comes back, but other than that, their injury list consists of really only Gary Rowan.
It's impressive, Tom Bell. I know I've said it already this afternoon, but just some of the stuff that he's done just means that, you know, he's going to be around for a while as a Carlton player. He's a big, strong kid too.
Desperate. The Blues. Garlett, Betts over the top to O'Keefe. Matner. The pressure continues from the Blues. And to your point earlier, Brett Ratton can't ask too much more. There's your man.
Well, they wouldn't have played this kid had they not had the injuries, that's for sure. But he's almost key position size. Apparently he's an animal with the endurance stuff as well. So there's a lot to work with. There he is again, just throwing his body into the contest.
Simpson on the up to Gibbs. O'Keefe was the would-be tackler to the hot spot. Matner. Casbolt, Scotland. Can he do something late? We can, but it's not much use to the Blues.
That's a big story, developing one too. Hopefully he's okay, because very much the engine room. Such an integral part. Boundary throw in. O'Keefe missed it. Comes to Cruiser. Not sure how he finished up with it. Grundy under pressure. Advances at about 10 metres. Jack falling to the ground. Tries to slap it out in the direction of O'Keefe. There's our man again. Bell dragged down. Kicks towards goal. And through it goes. And that goes really to the heart of the tanking debate. Now and again you uncover a diamond.
Yep.
And they seem to have done that.
Well, he's a Queensland boy, so he came to AFL football a little bit later than most. So you would think he's probably going to take another couple of years to develop.
Matner very close to the boundary line. I think it's out in the full. It is. So 5.5 minutes to go. And the margin 29 points. Play on's a call. White comes in short to McGuinness. McGuinness from 55 metres out. Sets it long towards full forward. Well done by Shaw, just coming back with the flight of it. That Beard is aerodynamic. He just knocks it back across. It's aerodynamic, not dynamic, and he knocks it back across the line. Johnson's got it.
I believe Shaw's going to keep the Beard while they're winning, the Swans.
His beard's almost got its own beard.
Is there a competition going on with him and Malcheski at the moment, Kirky?
Say there is.
No, I don't think so.
McVeigh always sported a beard, sort of led the tribe. Quickly to McGlynn, now to half forward, no one at home for the Swans. So the margin is 28, and here's dangerous territory. Malcheski onto his favoured left. How accurate is he? Not accurate enough.
The only thing that didn't have was a bow on it.
Yep. It was a gift, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? What? And that's another area of the game that Carlton really need to clean up. It's just their ball handlers at that part of the ground. They just need to be far more careful than what we've seen on a number of occasions this afternoon when they've tried to kick the ball across ground and get that switch.
Suddenly we're focusing on those Beards. I don't know much about the Amish, but I know they're not allowed to have TVs. If they could have TVs, they'd be Sydney supporters, I reckon. On the wing, long kick comes down from White. Going back, being held. Murphy, no free kick. Still Murphy going. Jack works his way in front. They've got 3-on-2 here, the Swans, and they're made to earn it. Well played by Murphy and Waite. Waite pleads a case for deliberate, and he had some justification. So a boundary throw in 93-64.
Dennis, you're working with Amish. Why don't you just ask him?
Got 2 TVs.
You read my mind.
I'm breaking.
Tim, when I want you to talk.
I'm breaking with convention.
Take it away, Amish. I'm determined.
Sorry, take him back.
Golly.
So McVeigh, so good for so long. He'd be enjoying being a part of this outfit. Here we go. Dennis Lane, how's the speed in the pickup? Off the ground he goes. He's got 3 blues to try and work through. Armfield was really good. Yaron got through a few to Gibbs. Back to Scotland. Not a heap on offer. Jetta closes him down. The kick, well, it was very good on his left. And Scotland's one of those players, Tim. Doesn't matter which side, always uses it well.
He's a real architect, isn't he, across half back, and that's why often sides elect to tag him as a defender, because they know that he's the guy that often sets up their play from that part of the ground.
Well,
there he goes again.
Speaking about beards, Armfield has that moustache that probably should be worn by an older man in potentially a different industry. Quickly, it's worked down to Marcus Davies. He goes long. Wait, not quite. Must be frustrating for Jared Waite. His body letting him down over the journey so often. Just game 150 this afternoon.
It's been a good return though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
14 touches, 7 contested, 8 marks, and he's kicked 3 goals, 1. So it's been a really good return for him.
Your son plays 150 this afternoon. He's 27. You did it when you were 22, and it's Waite's turn this afternoon as a 29-year-old. Something late, perhaps. So he crosses the arc, breaks into a jog and fires. Well, just drifted late. So sort of the afternoon of the Blues. Close, but not close enough. And the Swans will go on to win again. And that man leads the competition. And as we've heard from Kirky, that's when we go out to Beards, won't shave it until something alters with the Swans' form.
Shaw drives it long and high towards the outer side. Pike from behind. McVeigh close to the boundary line. Jetta, chance to release himself here as he tracks the ball. Well, McLean did well there. He matched Jetta stride for stride. Jetta, though, got the football. Comes back to McVeigh. McVeigh, a high ball. They need to destroy it out of bounds. Well, it stays in. Just going through the motions now. Goods, Roberts, Thompson, McGlynn, Hanbury. But in the road, Yaron. Just repeating the news we mentioned earlier. Port Adelaide, we believe, have told Matthew Primus he won't coach the club next season. But they've given him the option to stay until the end of the year. Not sure what his take is on that. Yaron across half back. Finds Bell. Alongside the centre circles, Bell goes for distance. That's a long kick. Battle of strength. Grundy won at that time. Knocked it down in front. Diving after it, Gibbs over the top. O'Keefe. And O'Keefe very careful approaching that football. And there's some of the interpretations with free kicks and the tribunal that I think are having an effect on players' behaviour. That time O'Keefe very conscious of the man falling forward there.
Your man Tom Bell, Tim, just 21. He's got a really big frame, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he weighs 96 kilos, so he's a big man, and that's as much as nearly some ruckman weigh.
Curnow wins the ball out, goes as far as Jetta, ricochets to Carazzo. Betts just fires it through heavy traffic. Now Casbolt attacks the football. Malcheski, though, ends up with it. Betts on his back, and the handball finds the chalk. And that is a big frame. The shoulders are enormous.
Yeah, a lot of Carlton people have likened him to Anthony Koutafidis body shape-wise. They would like to think that he could be half the player.
Mumford knocked down to McVeigh. Quick kick. Hanbury on the end of it. Spills to Murphy. He gets tackled.
He's back there.
He'll get a shot at goal out of all of that.
If you go back to, say, the 10-minute mark of the second quarter when we thought that they might have been completely blown away, Carlton, it's been a fairly even game since that point in time. I think they slipped outside about 30 points or so. I mean, that's going to be the margin. Yeah, it's going to be inside that. So I think Brett Ratner will be pretty happy with what he's seen from his players this afternoon. Yeah,
they kicked the first 4 of the second term, got it out to 34 points, and it's been within a goal or 2 of that for the rest of the afternoon as Murphy sends it over Jared Waite's head, and the Blues get a late one.
I think after the game, Tim, I might have to ask you about the future of Brett Ratner. Get you on record. What do you think might happen there? Because now they're officially out of the race.
Look at that run home there, Dennis. They've got the Brisbane Lions, winnable game, Essendon, winnable game, Gold Coast Suns and St Kilda. So they'll get Judd back. I think he comes back the week after next.
What would happen there if they won all 4? It'd certainly throw a cat amongst the pigeons if the pigeons are thinking other things. Yeah, well, there's Chris Judd there in the middle of the screen. I think they've got to stick with Ratton.
I want to ask you afterwards then.
And get him on the record twice.
I'm not going to change my mind.
It may not have the impact. We're back in the middle. 93 plays 71. The ruckman really did much there. Murphy. He's made an amazing return. Got it out to McLean. Sends it towards the wing. Carazzo. So quiet early. Carlton almost played him out of the game. Intent on getting a tag on O'Keefe as the ball bounces down towards half forward. Gathered by McLean again. He's got a career going forward with somebody. Whether it's the Blues or not, I'm not sure. Curnow around the corner. Taken by Smith. Shaw did well. Releases Richards. He'd probably be suited by a club, McLean, not that I'm trying to clear him from the Blues, but by a club like Sydney on the confines of the SCG. 250 ends successfully for Ryan O'Keefe, and Sydney consolidate at the top. Bolton really hampered by that injury, that left knee. He struck his right foot on the leg of Matthew Cruiser earlier in the day, so whatever he does here is not going to be comfortable, although that's not the worst thing. He's walking unaided at the moment. I think that's a good sign. What do you think, Dr. Watson?
Well, I saw the doctor doing the test on his leg, and he was testing for the anterior cruciate or the posterior cruciate. It didn't look to be giving in that area, so I reckon you can clear him of any serious damage in terms of having to have a reconstruction, but we'll have to wait to see exactly what is determined over the next couple of days.
Kirky is standing by. We'll go to him and hopefully get an interview with Jude as well. Kirky?
Ryan, 250 games, 13 years. What does the footy club mean to you?
It means the world, mate, and the boys are putting that effort for me. Just didn't want to make a big deal of it during the weeks. It's another game, you know. We're all part of just doing it together. It's not about individuals. So, but the boys, you know, Carlton came at us, and the boys just fought back, and you know, true testament to the spirit they've got.
And what qualities do you think you need to get to 250 games?
Plenty of drive, determination. Footy's all played between the ears. You know, seen a lot of blokes with a lot of talent come through the place, but it's the guys that got that real hunger to succeed that just keep going, and through adversity, anything that comes up their way, just keep battling.
You talk about that drive. I spoke off the top saying you're the most driven player I've played with. What is it that keeps you driving me now?
I just love the boys. They put in hard, and these young blokes, they haven't tasted success, and I really want to pass on that to them, and leave a good taste in them now.
Yeah, and how important is it to have a strong support network for playing footy this long?
Family's amazing. My wife, 2 kids, they're just the world to me.
Love your honesty, mate.